Effective electrical maintenance is crucial for the smooth operation and safety of commercial properties. To provide insights on this important topic, we are joined by Scott McMullen, a seasoned professional from Proven Electrical. Scott will share his expertise on the benefits, best practices, and essential considerations for property managers looking to ensure their buildings are electrically sound and efficient.
Hi, my name is Scott from Proven Electrical Services. I've been an electrician for 40 some odd years, and I've been a master electrician since 2009 in Alberta. I apprenticed with both union and non-union contractors, and eventually got out on my own in the new construction, service, and maintenance sectors.
Scott, can you start by telling us about your background and your role at Proven Electrical?
We started Proven Electrical in St.Albert, Alberta in 2013. Things were quite busy in Alberta, and we wanted to provide a local electrician for those small jobs, repair, trouble calls, that sort of thing. And we got involved with local management companies and realtors who often get the call from their customers and clients and just need to find some local reliable trades that can provide fast and efficient service.
What are the most common electrical issues you encounter in commercial properties, and how can regular maintenance help prevent them?
Typical commercial electrical issues are often lighting and often overlooked circuits that might be heating up. And maintenance is very important. In the lighting aspect, just doing a general walkthrough to make sure lights aren't flashing, bulbs are changed out regularly to prevent further damage to the actual fixtures. In terms of circuits and power distribution, it's important to check things on a regular basis because it's very interrupting for a business if your power goes out, and by checking these things on a regular basis, we can hopefully prevent that and prevent downtime.
How often should commercial properties undergo electrical maintenance, and what does a typical maintenance schedule look like?
Well, at least twice a year for looking at the overall maintenance of a building. We would want to check things like heating systems and cooling systems during different seasons or before the units start up into those modes. There's also requirements for testing things like emergency lighting, which should be done a basic test monthly and then a yearly test to make sure batteries are going to operate according to the manufacturer's specifications. Things like fire alarm systems need to be checked annually to make sure that they're going to operate in the event of an emergency or fire. Basically, a comprehensive check once or twice a year will identify areas that might need repair immediately or can be scheduled. The advantage of doing that is, like I said earlier, so that it doesn't just happen during a workday and all of a sudden the staff is disrupted. So we can prevent that by doing regular maintenance.
Do you also conduct inspections of wires, transformers, and motors as part of your maintenance services?
We will try to identify overheated or overloaded circuits, and a good way to do that is by checking the circuit breakers, motors, transformers. We can use temperature devices that read temperature, and in today's world we have thermal imaging, which enables us to check the panels, motors, that sort of thing without actually opening them up. Because sometimes in order to look at a panel close enough to identify these sorts of things without the thermal imagery, it requires opening up the equipment, which sometimes is not practical or safe to do that. without shutting down an entire area. So yeah, thermal imaging is increasingly popular, and insurance companies are endorsing it and asking companies to do it on a regular basis. We can often check and identify problems that might show up in thermal imaging without that imaging service, but it does involve a little deeper look at the equipment.
Can you explain the importance of preventive electrical maintenance and how it can save property managers money in the long run?
Well, when it comes to power distribution, regular maintenance is going into these panels, checking breakers for loose connections, checking termination points, looking at the installation for perhaps mechanical damage to the conduit system, for example. And by doing that, we can identify things and schedule with the appropriate managers a time to make the repairs. If it were to happen just out of the blue in the middle of the day, then it becomes a situation where there's downtime for the employees. So that's in terms of lighting for preventative maintenance, regular checks and replacing tubes. Just make sure that everything's working all the time, and all of a sudden somebody's office is not in the dark and they're waiting for an electrician to show up. So as long as we can schedule these things, it saves property managers and owners money for the fact that it's not an emergency service call. We're gonna just schedule this down the road and do it as part of our regular maintenance services.
What are the key components of a comprehensive electrical maintenance plan for commercial buildings?
Well, key components are identifying the distribution, the types of lighting, security systems, telephone systems, data networking systems, and then identifying all those and coming up with a comprehensive schedule of when, based on manufacturer recommendations, when that equipment should be serviced, and also making observations of how the equipment's being used so that we can determine, in the case of high use, it might need a little more frequent maintenance than another user who doesn't have such high usage.
How do you ensure minimal disruption to the daily operations of a commercial property during electrical maintenance?
Well, during regular electrical maintenance, by coordinating with the staff, managers in certain areas, or overall maintenance staff, we can schedule it so that when we're working on equipment, there isn't staff affected. We often do things like come in before shift start or after shift is over, work during lunch periods or breaks, just to accommodate the business, because that's the most important, is keep the business going without interruptions. And we know people are very busy, so we just want to get in and make sure that they can carry on and do their job in a safe and efficient manner.
Can you discuss the role of modern technology and tools in enhancing the effectiveness of electrical maintenance services?
Well, there is a lot of modern tools, and they continue to expand as time goes on. One of the big ones is thermal imaging, by being able to walk through a plant and check without disrupting the power or shutting anything down. Check for hot spots, possible loose connections. We can check motors, lighting fixtures. So that's technology that has really come a long way and is highly recognized for preventative maintenance. Other tools are management programs that we can use, software to keep track of and identify issues that might need regular maintenance or might need increased maintenance schedule.
What should property managers look for when selecting an electrical maintenance provider for their commercial buildings?
As a property manager, you definitely want to pick a contractor who has all their licensing in place and is bonded and insured, and somebody who is willing to analyze the property and have a good understanding of how the operation works so that there is minimal interruptions, and somebody who is available in a short-term call basis. We try to provide within a 2-hour response time, and often customers are waiting for us basically to show up so they can get back to work. So yeah, that's what I would look for, is somebody who has a fast response time, highly reliable, qualified, and insured.
Can you share any case studies or examples where regular electrical maintenance significantly improved the safety and efficiency of a commercial property?
Well, recently we had a customer whose insurance company asked them to do some thermal imaging, and several areas in the plant were identified. So they asked us to come in and have a look at them and have a look at that report that was provided. And we identified some of the equipment was suitable to operate at that temperature. However, we did identify through looking at something in the report, we noticed something else that was not quite right. And we were able to identify that switch for a very important circulation pump is about to fail. So we were able to schedule a time when the plant was shut down to go in and change out that switch and prevent a shutdown during operating, normal business hours.
What future trends do you see in commercial electrical maintenance, and how can property managers prepare for these changes?
Well, I see a big trend in software-related loss prevention or maintenance for buildings. So I see increasingly the knowledge of managers and plant supervisors increasing and being aware and using this software. And I think that's going to be a big trend where things are more automated. And I know employees, staff have a lot on their mind already. They have a job to do. They certainly don't need to be trying to anticipate things that are really aren't in their field, like electrical maintenance. So I think this software will be a big help to plants and managers to schedule and keep the equipment up to date, keep the service up to date. The best way to get a hold of us is call. You can text, you can send us an email, and we'll respond in a timely manner and determine what the issue is and get out the site.